All right, we should be live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. First in the house was Stang. What up, Stang? Hope you're doing well. What up, Giant Robots? Craig Lilly. What up, Kale? Hope you and the fam are doing well. Just got back from the pediatrician. My little one got some boosters. Yep, that's that 6-month visit, right? Yeah, that's exactly what we went through just a few weeks ago. A little fussy, but we'll make it through the stream. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, ours were sick for... They ran a fever, like 102, just for one night, and then we're good afterwards. So, um, hope yours gets over it really quickly. What up, Chris? We got Coalition Gaming Chris in the house. Heavy metal technology. Hello, hello. Extreme Zone. What's up? There's no more formula? Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to go mix formula. Are you able to mix the formula? Okay, yeah, I'll do the picture after the stream. Okay, never mind, we are good. Yeah, so for the parents out there, Melissa's transitioning off of, or we're transitioning the girls off of breast milk just because it's a pain, but then we're going to full-time formula, and that requires constant mixing of formula because there's 2 babies to feed. I would imagine with one, we would only have to mix one a day. But we have to mix twice a day because we got 2 girls. So, yeah, that's the life right now. Planning to do an all-white build since I haven't done one of those yet. But I know that comes with extra cost. You gonna plan a white build right now where you have to get new white RAM? The RAM... We can look at RAM prices. Last I checked, it looks like they kind of hit their peak, but it's not a good value or a good amount to pay. It's not like they're constantly going up, because if they were, at this point, we'd be at like $500 for like 32 gigs or something. So it has slowed down, but I don't even want to do build content for a while because I see no point in it when telling people to, like, here's the parts that you need to buy, and it's just so bad. So upcoming content is probably not going to be build related for a while, which is fine. Uh, I've got 2 videos in the pipeline I know that are not build related, so hopefully people find value from things that aren't builds, especially since, like, for people who have builds anyways, like, do you guys enjoy watching build videos when you already have built your PC and you don't need to upgrade or build anything for a while? Hopefully the new content that's coming out is like a little bit useful and insightful, because it's not focused on the parts list and like this is where you need to build and buy. But what up, In Decline? What up, Tech Blacksmith? I just Velcro strapped a fan to a heatsink. Don't judge me. Velcro strap, zip ties, anything that holds it together. If it works, it works. What? Oh, one second. I need to adjust the camera. I'm sitting so low. Come down just a bit. Okay. Dang it. There we go. What's up, Hazard Me? What up, Tony Dung? Where the twins at? One of them is sleeping and one of them is upstairs with mom. We might see them at the end of the stream if they go crazy. We don't have help today. With the normal in-laws that are over here while I stream, they are not here. So Melissa's gonna tough it out, and then if it gets too crazy, I might have to go grab one. What up, E? Diaper change? Okay, diaper change time. I will be right back. Where is the be right back? Okay, we are back. It was a poopy diaper. Why is my... All my windows are going weird on my computer. But, okay. Back to the chat. New white RAM will go crazy right now. All RAM will go crazy right now. I have some RAM. Did I mention this on a previous stream? I'm so tempted to try to trade some RAM. Like 2 sets of 32 gigs. For a 9070 XT. Just because it's about equal value right now. 32 gigs is about $300, and a 9070 XT you can find close to $600. So 2 sets. But I don't know if anybody would actually trade for that. Just because RAM, I've said this before, just because RAM is priced at $300 doesn't mean everybody is willing to buy it for that much. Just because Amazon and everybody else has their prices at that doesn't mean it's flying off the shelves. So, yeah. Paint the RAM. I got my Christmas present early. I got a Audi. What? Who just gets a freaking car for Christmas like that? That is... Here, we can take a look at what... this is Jensen. This is what Jensen got for Christmas. Well, I mean, did you buy this yourself? When you said you got it for Christmas, you got your present early. I was assuming it was from someone else. But you bought it yourself, then Christmas present to yourself. Yeah, what the heck? OBS is freaking out right now for some reason. When I'm trying to scene switch. Uh-oh, this might be annoying in stream. Fanta or Crush? I mean, orange soda is orange soda to me. I think they both taste fine. No preference there. But what is a beginner mistake you wish you could stop them from doing all the time? Them? A beginner mistake? I don't know. If you're referring to something, I must have missed the context. $128 GB of DDR5 RAM cost more than a down payment I made on my car. Yeah, I saw somebody posted that in stream submissions. Yeah, okay. My computer is running very slow and laggy. Give me 1 second. Something's going on. OBS is using up so much CPU. What is going on? Oh, I do have a million Chrome tabs open too, which is also using a lot of... No, it's not using that much CPU. Give me 1 second. Okay, how do I do this? During the LAN, did you guys try the Costco Fallout? We did not try the Costco Fallout Jones soda. I saw that they've been pushing that pretty hard though. Alright, give me 1 second. Can I... Has a million Chrome... Well, the Chrome tabs take up a lot of memory. They don't take up... My CPU is running at like 70% right now. And like... OBS is spiking all over the place right now. And it is running... Like, it is causing everything on my computer to lag. When I click on different windows and stuff. Yeah, what is going on? Did I up the bitrate? Give me 1 second to figure this out, guys. Because... I can't even switch scenes comfortably right now. Error encoding overload. Yeah, okay. Something's going on. I wonder, can I stop the stream and then restart it right away? Oh no. Oh no. I think what happened was I was messing around, or I changed my settings for OBS for the LAN because we record gameplay footage, and I upped the bitrate quite a bit, and I don't think it's liking it right now because I'm also recording multiple things at once. Okay, okay, give me 1 second. I might have to end stream for a second. Hopefully this does not start a new stream. My goodness. That would be so annoying. I will be... Alright, we should be good. We're back. Are we back? Hello, can you see? Okay, let's see. Are we good now? Can we switch? Yeah, now we're smooth. Let me check in Task Manager. Now, yeah, now it's only using like 25%. What was going on? My goodness, OBS. Also, what? Why is my YouTube studio? Oh my god. I swear something is happening. Alright. Yeah. In terms of the configuration, the only thing I changed was I upped it to like 12 mega bits per second bit rate because I was recording side by side camera and gameplay at the same time in extended screen configuration basically. But I dropped it back down to the typical 6,000 that I run it at. And that's the only thing I changed. But now it's running fine. So I don't know if... and I restarted my computer recently, so it's not like I was leaving this running and it had like a memory leak or something, but that was odd. It's a virus from the hub? What hub? Okay, Amazon Basic RAM. Does Amazon even have that? I actually wouldn't be surprised. But this sounds like a meme. Amazon Basics RAM. Amazon Basics RAM would essentially probably be like this value RAM, no heat sinks, just exposed PCB. System builders like me are forced to eat the price hikes if we build. Yeah. DDR4. Ooh, 4 gigabytes for... Look at that. 4 gigabytes for 33 bucks. Of DDR4... So 16 gigs would be like 120 something. Or 132. You did buy the car yourself. Well, congrats. Congrats, congrats, congrats. It's a nice looking car. What are these MSRP at? $130,000? Oh, wait, the Avant. Is there like a non-Avant version? Do they have cheaper ones? I know Audis are expensive, but I don't know exact prices of cars off the top of my head. Because I'm not a car guy. That is a very, in my opinion, pricey car. You might be well off, and that's like nothing to you, but my goodness. It's not brand new? Got it, okay. Yeah. So the value does drop a decent amount for not being new, but it could still be in very good condition with low miles. Yeah, PC building on pause. We have 6 builds now in the house. Okay, let's see. Oh, the hub. That's what you meant. Now I get it. That hub. I thought... Because I actually use like a USB hub. So I thought you were talking about that. I know what hub you're talking about now. Ant-Man with his dirty, dirty mind. The homework folder just grew by quite a bit. But having a backup program to stream with is never a bad idea. Meld Studio is probably the next best option. Whoa, you talking about like doing two? Why is my mic? Give me 1 second. It seems like it's peaking when it shouldn't be. I put a limiter on it. Let me try it down this to 30. Test 1, 2. Okay, we should be better there. Is 800 CAD a good price for a used 5070 Ti? 800 CAD to USD. That's $580 for a 7. Yeah, that sounds like a really good price because 5070 Ti's are still going for what, $700 right now? Actually, no. Prices might be different because so the MSRP is 750. So we still have some 750 models in the US, but these are supposed to go up in the new year because the memory shortage should be affecting it. So yeah, that sounds like a crazy good price. $5090 laptop or small form factor 5090 build? I say small form factor 5090 build. The laptop, if you have any problems with it, it's going to be a nightmare to repair once it's out of warranty. I don't know what the warranty on the laptop is. Maybe 5090 laptops are gonna have come with like way longer warranties because they cost an arm and a leg. But also the 5090 laptop, so like repairing it yourself is just basically you can't really do like mainboard repair type stuff. You either have to send it in or take it to some, you know, specific shop like Lewis Rossman, which is gonna cost you like literally hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to repair. And at the end of life, when the 5090 starts slowing down and becomes like 2-3 generations old, it's going to be stuck in that laptop, which is not going to be worth repairing, or you won't be able to get replacement parts. So longevity wise, I think a desktop small form factor 5090 is better because at the very least, the 5090 could be used for years to come once it's like, you know, not the king anymore, and it's just like considered like a mid-range card. It can still be used in builds and sold and like moved around and stuff. Laptops, unless you like have a very specific use case of like, you know, you're mobile a lot, traveling a lot, I would not I guess really recommend them to like. The fact that you're mentioning a small form factor build as an alternative for it, or like you're asking between the opinion of these two, it sounds like you're okay with having a sitting desktop, but I don't know. Your situation might be specific. And yeah, the 5090 laptop performance-wise is not going to be the same because laptops, they're always more power and thermal limited. But I'm just gonna ignore that because you do get the benefits of the mobility of it with the attached screen and keyboard and stuff. But I'm just looking at it from a long-term point of view. That 5090 laptop is going to drastically decrease in value also if you care about that. But yeah, I think if you can do desktop, even if it's small form factor, that's gonna always be the play. But, you know, there's people who travel a lot, who live in multiple, like, you know, some people live between two parents, students in school. Like, when I was in school, I had a laptop. So there are use cases for laptops. But if you are, like, you know, pretty much going to use that laptop as a glorified desktop with, like, a whole docking station and monitors and stuff at your desk at home, just get the desktop, in my opinion. What's up, Joe P? What's up, Isaiah? Not two programs trying to change, but rather just a different program that can also stream if you didn't feel like using... Oh, or OBS was having issues. Oh, got it. Yeah, good point. I could just have that second program open in the background, ready to go, like every stream, just to quickly swap to it if needed. Yeah. I mean, I would say for the most part, in terms of like OBS and connectivity and stuff like that, how long have I been streaming consistently now? Like, if we were to look at when I started streaming in this basement, because that's when I would consider it, like my consistent streaming. I think it's what, like 4 years now or something? I think it was around 3 years ago. So yeah, I've been live streaming. So this was upstairs 6 years ago. This is when I was like kind of less consistently streaming, but I've been yeah, like 4 years I've been streaming consistently down here in this basement. And I would say in all that time there's been a pretty low percentage of technical difficulties. So I think I've had relatively decent luck. But then again, Chris is like the stream master, so he probably has even like basically 0% stream errors and stuff going on. Hey, what up, Shauner? I grabbed a 5070 today. It's for my roommate. How much did you grab it for, Shauner? Biggie says, yo, caught your channel not too long ago. PC enthusiast here. Love your channel. Got my 5070 12 gig. Upgraded from a 3060 Ti, so it lasted 4 years. 4 years on a mid-range graphics card is pretty solid. Last piece for my 10-year build. 11700K CPU. So you have this 11700K CPU that you're platform that you're on. They're trying to make it last 10 years. Oh man, that's great to hear in terms of like trying to push your system. I'm curious if you're going to be able to make when did the 11700K come out? So 11700K came out in 2021. So you got to make it to 2031 for it to be a 10-year build. 490 pre-tax. Okay, that sounds about right. They've been going on. Well, they were on sale for 500 a bunch during what is it, Black Friday and Prime Days and stuff. Yeah, you don't pay. Yeah, Chris knows what he's doing, so he can just solve it pretty instantly. Where's Mr. Whitmer been hiding lately? Kind of miss his smart ass comments. I mean, Jason's pretty busy. You know, he's got his own stuff. He was actually out of the country for almost like a month, it felt like. He just got back from traveling to Taiwan and Japan. But I think it's pretty hard to carve aside 2 to 3 hours every week to sit on somebody else's stream when you are a content creator yourself and you have like, you know, a significant other and all that stuff. So I think he's just been busy, which is fine. I find it hard to find time to sit on his streams whenever he streams as well. So Anaglyph D says, hey Danny, new subscriber, love the content. Sweet, thanks for the kind words, I appreciate it. Audi needs a Nobe sticker. Okay, so who was asking about the LAN? How's the LAN party? So we are 30 minutes in the stream, so let me show you some snippets from LAN. So for anybody who's new here and doesn't know, I like to do LAN parties with my close group of friends for like of how long have we been friends for? I've known these guys since we were like 10, 11 years old. When we started going to middle school together. Some of them known each other from like elementary school, but I switched school districts from elementary to middle school, so that's when I met them when I was 11 years old. So 25 years ago. But so here is the latest image from the most recent. Anyone ever call you? I think Lanny Danny. Or LAN at Dan's. There's been a lot of play on words when it comes to the LAN and my name. But this is the group picture from the LAN that we just had this past weekend. So it was a very, very fun time. I'm not sure if people would recognize this where we were at. And I'll show a video of it too. Hey, Jan's in the house. What up, Jan? LAN did go by too fast. LAN always goes. Oh my god, there's so much dog stuff. Let me see if this video has it. No, that's not Melissa dabbing. That is Jesse's daughter. Melissa did not come to the LAN. Yeah, that's Jesse's daughter right here. But let me show you the walkthrough footage. of our setup.
Casey, did you not buy items?
So I was sitting here in the corner. I had my setup here. So we had the whole like perimeter of the room filled, and then this little nook area where Martin was sitting. Eating and observation duty. And then after observation duty, probably like midnight. Probably have to like golf with your friends or something. We did not play golf with your friends, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, any new LAN games? Yeah, we played RV there yet. We played. Ooh, there's this game called what was it? Final Sentence. This one was pretty fun to play, just because this is actually pretty hard. This is a typing game, where if you make mistakes too many times, it's kind of like typing with mistakes and Russian roulette. The cool thing about this game is, at least right now, it's free, but it has a multiplayer mode already. I don't know if it's gonna cost money or if it's gonna be like microtransaction, freemium type of game. But basically, you have to type, and then it's like racing. But then if you go too fast, and you make too many mistakes, you could potentially get shot. By these guys who are standing in front of you with guns. So that was pretty fun. So are we there yet? This game. What else did we play? I need to look back at the footage. And then we didn't play any Grand Theft Auto. There's TFT and League of Legends as always. I tried out that Riot fighting game, but I think I was too good and people didn't want to play with me. Okay, I wasn't too good, but I was winning. I played against Jan and James, and then they didn't want to keep on playing. Cheese rolling game. What was that? Steam cheese rolling. We were trying to find games that could support a lot of people. This game was like stupidly fun, and it's free too. But this is kind of based on a real life event, where I forgot where it happens in Europe, but basically they roll a cheese wheel down a hill and people try to race down the hill. So, and I'm pretty sure it's based on like some like medieval times tradition or like, games or something. But yeah, this was stupidly fun. Let me pull up my Steam and see what else we played. I hopped into Arc Raiders for the first time during the LAN, but I was kind of playing solo, just checking it out. But I finally bought Arc Raiders. Let's see. Let me look at my library. Oh, that's in the UK? Okay. Yeah. Oh, we played Peak. So we played Peak as well. That was done the last day though, so we only beat the first portion of it. We beat Chained Together finally. Oh, we played one called Just Act Natural. This is a really fun game. So basically, you're on this map with like a bunch of different NPCs, and there's one person trying to snipe from above, and you're trying to kind of blend in with other NPCs and collect like diamonds or items and stuff, and try not to get shot. So you have to like pretend to move like an NPC, while one person has like a above aerial view with like a sniper rifle essentially, and is trying to take you out. Let's see, what else did we play? Oh, we played Rocket League as well. And yeah, I think that was about it. We didn't get it into any like group FPSs and stuff like that. I didn't have the time to set that up and like look into that beforehand. And that kind of needs to be done because trying to figure that stuff out during LAN it kind of kills time. So we played easy to access games that supported a lot of people. But I did want to hopefully for the next LAN get into some of the older actual LAN games like original Halo on PC and stuff like that. That looks like one of the best setups for a LAN you've had. This setup was pretty awesome. I don't want to reveal too much about it because the location was actually very special. But yeah, the setup worked out really well. But we were at capacity. If there was another person, we would not have been able to fit them. Plum sauce with grilled cheese. Have never heard of it. Probably have it again tonight. I mean, that sounds like it could be good. Citrus, who is now Icon. Big 42 months of Nerd on a Big Budget support membership. Thank you, Citrus. Now Icon. God, I wish YouTube would let people set their names in chat back again. Looks like the house from the first LAN party stories. Good eye. Good eye. I recognize those wood walls. It's where it's all started. Yeah, you guys have a pretty good eye. For the people who are newer, they probably wouldn't know because we haven't LANed back here, actually. When was the last time we LANed here? Let me look. Videos. LAN party stories. Let me see. When was the last time we would have LANed there? Oh, I gotta look at the playlist. Stop. So the last time we were to land there was... ...2017. Yeah, I think we only landed there... ...twice. So... Yeah, we only landed there twice, and the last time was 2017, so it was good to go back. How did you guys even get to land there? So, I don't even know if I explained this in the video, but this house is actually owned by Jesse's dad. And in the first LAN, Jesse was renting it from his dad, and his dad did not live there. But then, as you guys saw in like the upcoming years after that LAN, Jesse and his wife moved out into a new, bigger house. So that's why we stopped landing there. But his dad always still owned this house. And his dad eventually moved back here. And then Jesse eventually moved out of state. So that's why we don't land at the other house that Jesse owned. But now Jesse recently moved back. And he's living here until he like finds a more permanent living situation. Like to like either rent or buy a different house. So since that just happened to line up perfectly with our 10-year LAN wrap up, we were like, wouldn't it be cool if we returned to back where it all started, like the beginning of the series? And Jesse's dad was cool with having us there, so that's why we were there. So it was really cool to come back and seeing how much the house has transformed, you know, since 8 years ago when we were last there. Yeah, it was very much a full circle moment. Yeah, it looks very familiar now. It makes sense. So it's really cool in the video. You'll see like. And I'll be doing a bunch of comparison shots when I edit the video of like back when it was, you know, almost 10 years ago versus how it was now. What year is my favorite LAN party? People ask me that all the time. And let me see. Oh, stop. Yeah, so we look at the playlist. How do you go to this playlist? I don't want it to like open like this. I just want to see the playlist. LAN party stories. Here we go. Be very careful. Okay, well, it won't let me look at it with a bigger icon. But my favorite ones were probably the first one at our new house. The first time at our new house. This one right here. Once again, it is Thursday. Oh my god. Stop it. Why are you being stupid, YouTube? I'm clicking on it correctly. But this one right here was probably for me because this was like, you know, breaking in our new house with a LAN for the first time ever. So this one was very memorable for me. LAN at Dan's. And then I need to redo this video because it's only 48 minutes. There's so much more footage. I'm going to be releasing a lost footage or uncut edition of all the previous LANs that were like under an hour. Like I'm sitting on so much footage that they can have like an extended cut. So I have a playlist of the LANs to put on in the background. Nice. Which reminds me, I need to bring back the LAN Party 24/7 stream. Now that I have my server, now that I have my home server, I need to set up the 24/7 LAN stream on that because that's going to be running 24/7. So then I don't have to worry too much about it. We're going to need the video soon. I don't know when I can give this video because I optimistically thought, hey, maybe I could get it out by the end of the year, but turns out the rest of this year we're pretty busy in terms of, it's a holiday season. We have family coming in. We have a bunch of family get-togethers or just get-togethers with family, friends, stuff like that on like various days and weekends. And I have commitments to companies for some videos that I got to finish before the end of the year. So it's just like from now, the next 2 weeks, there's no way I can even get started on looking at this footage, unfortunately. But my plan is to get all that stuff done with, get the holiday seasons over with, and then, like, best case scenario, end of January. That's best case scenario. But if not, then maybe like February, which is still a faster timeline than I typically edit the LAN stories. I enjoy landing with friends, but as we get older, it's difficult to get everyone to lug their whole setups over, and sometimes we end up just canceling altogether. Has this ever happened to you? No. So specifically at this LAN, what happened was it was originally scheduled for October, but then something happened with regards to work schedules because some people in the LAN group, their work requires them to go out of state for work and travel. So that happened. So then we moved it to November. And then the same thing happened again. So then we had to move it. So we never just outright cancel a LAN. We just postpone it. And then we try to quickly, figure out the next date that works for everybody. Which, you're right. That's why instead of just moving it like 1 or 2 weekends, we actually had to move it like a month. Because when you're coordinating with, 10, 12, 13, 14 people... It's really hard when everyone's an adult and has their schedules, whether it be vacations planned, travel stuff, work, just family stuff they have to tend to. So yeah, that's why we pushed it. And I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the first time we land in December, especially like that close to Christmas and just like the holiday season. Coalition Gaming Chris says, I've had LAN parties where my crew mostly didn't make it, or some came and decided not to bring the computers, or came at very different parts of the day and it felt like ending way early. Yeah. At least for the time that very few people showed, they showed at different times. I had multiplayer brawler set up, Dwarven Brawl Bros on my living room PC, and we just played. Yeah. And Chris, can you remind me so Chris also does some LAN videos. He does shorter ones, but if you guys go to Chris's channel, which you guys should subscribe, by the way, LAN parties. But Chris also has a playlist. And Chris, when was your first Summer LAN? When was this video? I'm not logged in, so this is going to show potentially ads. Homebrewed Hero. Oh, wait. This was 9 years ago. Is Chris in this video? Let me see. Yeah. Wait, isn't this at your house, Chris? Everyone from Coalition Gaming showed up to make a great time. Yeah, so this was 9 years ago. July 2016. So he did one and I did one, both on the same playlist. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Which is crazy. Me and Chris both posted LAN content the same year before we even met each other. Because, yeah, all my LAN videos started in early 2016, like first half 2016. And here I'm finding Chris's. Here, Coalition Gaming LAN 1. Yeah, so these were posted in like June, July timeframe. But These are very, very much montagey videos. Ooh, World of Warcraft. But yeah. So if you want more LAN content, go check out here. Let me share this playlist. Oh wait, how do I get to the playlist? Here we go. If you want to see more other LAN content from a fellow content creator friend of mine, then check out these as well. But they are like less than 10 minutes long. Very, very highlighting snippets and stuff like that. So yeah, right. It is not. Oh yeah, it'll be out before Christmas 2026. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 2026 for sure. I'm just glad people are still holding LAN parties. Yeah. Here, let me ask this question. Do you currently LAN with to this day? Yes or no? We're gonna start this poll. I think the majority might be no, but I'm just curious how many other people still throw LAN parties to this day. Yeah, we are indeed LAN party bros, Chris. I don't know if I have any other fun footage that I can share. There's the what is this one? Let me see. Like here's just some early footage of us setting up before everyone else got there. Let me see. Let me see. I think I got the room relatively empty. So here it is before. Yep. Yeah. My sister-in-law, Cindy, she's like over multiple times a week, so she's gonna sleep over. What are all these challenge coins that you have? Are these all from your time in? I did not realize they gave so many coins out for various things. That was a challenge coin from our high school. At my mom's place, and then when the fire happened, basically we lost everything, like childhood photos and all that stuff. So what up, Tectonics? Stuff anymore, unfortunately.
This one I got from Charlie actually.
Is it a coin?
Yeah, it's from his.
Oh my God,
that's from his school.
Wow, it's a freaking dragon. Yeah. That's cool. Danny, you need lotion, man? I do need lotion. I always need lotion. All right, let's do a lotion check. Let's do a lotion check. Actually, my hands... Okay. My hands aren't too bad right now. But it's the winter time. They get dry pretty quickly, right? They're not too bad right now, I don't think. Okay, maybe they are. I don't know, man. I feel like people who have dry, ashy hands would look at my hands right now and be like, oh, they're decently moistened. But then people who have extra moist hands are like, dude, your hands are dry AF. This is the area you typically check to know if someone needs lotion or not. It's not too bad, right? I was doing a lot of stuff today that like required me to wash my hands because I was like fixing our garage and stuff like that, and my hands got dirty. So I've been washing my hands a lot today. So I've been washing off all the natural oils and the moistness in my hands. I passed right now. But yeah, in the videos, you know what doesn't pass? The bottom of my feet. But I don't know if I want to show you guys because the bottom of my feet is kind of just like they crack beyond belief. I need to drink more water. This is true. I am pretty bad at drinking water. I plan on starting to LAN once I can find some friends that actually game. Yeah, that's the difficult part. If you don't live around the friends that you grew up with or went to school with or college or whatever. But then like, actually anybody in the chat have a LAN group of people that they just straight up cold posted online, like, you know, like their local city subreddit or like Facebook group or or people they met at their local board game bar and stuff, and like now like LAN with them, like basically people who were complete strangers. Like everyone in our LAN group are like longtime friends or friends of friends, so there's always a connection. We don't have any strangers in our LAN group, but I'm curious if any of you out there do something similar with strangers. And I know people do that with like D&D quite a bit, because if you're talking about like niche things to get people together to do, I feel like D&D is one of those other things. But with D&D, it's kind of a little bit easier because you can meet people at your local D&D, like those local game shops, and then you can start D&D groups and then start hosting it at your own homes. But because like LAN centers and internet cafes and stuff aren't really too much of a thing these days. They still exist, but like I don't know of any around me. Like that would be the type of setting that I would think you could find other people who would be interested in doing LAN parties with. But unfortunately, those don't really exist anymore. I think we need a no LAN supplies checklist. I always feel like I forget a cable or accessory at home. So I've been meaning to make a LAN party like guide basically for like the last 8 years. Once the LAN party story series started, getting more popular, I've been meaning to put together a video as like at least a guide that I would recommend for people, like a checklist of like, you want to throw a LAN party, this is what you need to consider, this is what you need to bring, and stuff like that. And then I'll show examples and footage from our actual LAN parties of why those things are needed and important. And it would just not only be an informative video for people, but I think it would just be fun to make. It's just taking like 10 years of LAN party footage and showing like how all these things apply. But I haven't gotten around to it. I need to write that down so that I actually get to making it. I've just kind of been pushing it off. LAN party. It's like a LAN party guide, essentially, video. Do your elbows get dry? Let me see. Oh, it depends. Yeah, they look pretty dry right now. They're pretty dry. I hate moisturizing. I hate the feeling of when you moisturize and then it's just like kind of like it's not wet, but like if you put it up against something, it might leave some residue, because of that's just what moisturizers do. There's like whatever lotion and stuff, but I just hate the feeling of once I put on moisturizer, even if you rub it in all the way, it's not sticky, but it doesn't feel good. And our girls, they have eczema, so like I have to apply lotion to them, and afterwards I have like lotiony hands with like baby specific lotion, and I'm just like, oh my god, I hate this feeling. I prefer having dried cracked skin than feeling moist and having like a residue layer on me. I don't know. Yeah, I used to pumice stone my feet, but then I got lazy. My elbows are awful. Yeah, it's just a lot of work, like to constantly be moisturizing yourself. It's just to me, it's uncomfortable. Yo, the bar of my feet are dry AF too, though. I can confirm his feet are terrible. Yeah, I live near my friends, but I play online because we don't play any LAN games. So the LAN, like during our LAN parties, we mostly play online games. We would use LAN mode if, developers actually implemented a LAN mode. But they don't anymore. The last game, some of them do, but very few of them do. But I think LAN parties, it's more of the spirit of a LAN party than actually having to play over the LAN configuration, of a given game. LAN parties are just, technically we are, wired into the same LAN, right? Local area network. We're all going through the same switch and modems and stuff like that. So we are technically on the same LAN. We are just not playing games over LAN modes. we're all playing over the internet because that's how developers have decided they wanted to do their games. But still, like playing online with your friends versus playing in the same room with your friends, totally different. It's totally different. I've had so many comments over the years of people saying like, what's the point of doing this? It seems like a lot of hassle and trouble. Like, why lug all your computers to one place and stuff? You guys can just play online. And I'm like, bro, that's not even the same thing. And if you had experienced a LAN party ever in your life, then you would know that. But I think it's mostly people who have never done it before. I don't know of anyone who have LANed and would say that playing online with friends is the more superior experience. I think plenty of people say it's the more convenient experience. But if you ignore the convenience factor, because I admit, you know, doing LAN parties is a bit inconvenient. You gotta tear down your setup, bring it over, potentially drive. It took me like an hour and 20 minutes to get down to my hometown, and then packing up and then redoing my setup. Like that's inconvenient, but it's worth it for the experience once you're there. Also, LAN is not nostalgic to me because I am younger than the iPhone 3G. Okay, yeah, I think it is definitely a nostalgic factor for people who grew up, you know, at least were old enough to game on the computer in like the early 2000s. In 2019, I built a LAN small form factor PC, but never used it for LAN. It has an MSI B450i AC, so that's a Wi-Fi one. Okay, Ryzen 2600X, 16 gig RAM. Okay, so you built the LAN PC, but never took it to LAN. A lot of people I talk to at work have never heard of LAN, or they just strictly game on console. I mean, some of my early experiences with LAN is through console. It's Xbox System Link. Sorry. We used to play original Halo on separate Xboxes, on separate TVs in different rooms. That was probably my first actual experience, quote unquote, LANing, even though it was a direct connect from system to system. But just, it was more of playing with more than like local split screen on multiple devices. I think playing any game near or next to your friends makes it more fun than playing. Yeah, exactly. Just being able to see and hear them, like physically in person. Posted a screenshot of some of the first I had ever scheduled in stream submissions. Wait, what? Let's take a look at this. Stream submissions. This is the first LAN I did at my house after buying it in 2013 with coworkers. That got the ball rolling with the first official one with my friends in 2014. I even actually used to schedule them and get head counts. Dude, 2013? Okay, Chris, let me try to find a picture. I think it might be from 2016. So let me look at this. So yeah, LAN party birthday extravaganza. Look at this on the Google Plus. Let me see. So I actually have some pictures. I'm not sure if I might have shown them before. But let me see. Where's those photos? Where did I put these dang photos at? Yes, greasy feeling. That's how they explain it. It is a greasy feeling. Where are all my LAN party images? Oh my god, did I not back this up to the NAS? Uh-oh. I need to make sure I do that. Heavy metal technology. Well, time to go work at Best Buy Geek Square and hopefully meet people who game locally. Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, we had annual car meetups with a coin for a year. Yeah. I actually wanted to do a coin, so I wanted to do a challenge coin, and I might still do it for the LAN members, just because it's kind of a cool, you know, little thing to have. And basically, we make it so that kind of like in the military, where like if someone challenges you and you don't have your coin, you know, you have to take a shot or something. I don't know. We could probably think of something fun to do with it. But yeah, having a challenge coin, even though we're like, not, I think challenge coins have evolved to just be on the military now, though. But having something like that for commemorating the LAN would be cool to do. So I need to come up with a design for it, though. Okay, where's the LAN freaking photos? My goodness. Don't tell me I lost this. No. Okay. Oh, here we go. Do I have it? Oh wow, I did not put them in here. Okay, I need to find them. But we had some from previous lands as well. Have you guys bought anything from Newegg's Winter Block Party? Dude, Newegg is still doing deals. All right, let's take a look at some of these deals. Newegg Winter Blockbuster. How is it that they are continuing to go on beyond Black Friday? They were like Black Friday week sale, then Cyber Week, and now we're into Deal-cember with some doorbusters. Let me see what kind of doorbusters they had. Anything 14900K 9060 XT. What? Doorbusters. That's the 8 gig one though. For 200. Look, 9060 XT 8 gig version for 200. I'm not mad at that. For a certain price, even the 8 gigabyte cards that everyone hates could be a pretty decent deal. What up, Dong Too Long? You Dong Too Late. That's your new name. Dong Too Late. No, but what's up? No worries. 12600K for 134. Not a bad price at all. Though you are getting locked into a previous generation. And it's still sold out though. Okay, so what we got? 9900 X3D for 500. Montech cases for 40 bucks. Yo, I know the PC flippers are probably all over these deals, even though they now it'd be hard to fill out the rest of the build with RAM being so crazy. NZXT H5 full for 40 bucks. These deals are actually pretty good, and I would imagine some of these would be achievable because it's a computer case. This is not in as high of demand as like a graphics card. So, let's see what we got. Ooh, anything useful for me? Doorbuster, a laptop docking station for 450 bucks. Okay. This case, Roswell Helium Air. Super ventilated case. Comes with 3... Wait, what? 160 millimeters? $160mm fans. That's kind of odd. But, and one 140 in the back. Wait, is it, am I reading this right? Yeah, it is 2 pre-installed 160s, but it does support up to 7 120s. Okay, interesting. I honestly don't know if I've ever used a 160mm fan in my life. I might have, but like without knowing it because it just came included and I wasn't paying attention. But I don't think I ever like intentionally used a 160mm. So you could buy, yeah, so this is normally 80. I think for 40 bucks, this is a good deal. I have way too many cases on hand. Otherwise, like, I would buy it just to keep. I mean, it's just your standard case. And on a budget, like, Does anyone have any questions? I mean, this might be this. So if anything, this might be like, I don't know. Like, I think it depends on your setting, right? Or like where you keep the PC. In my house, I know for a fact this would not get that dusty. Especially if you keep it like on top of a table. But some people have more dusty environments. But yeah, like I wouldn't be too concerned about this, pulling in that much dust. Plus, I have a duster. Like dusting your PC every few months is not the end of the world. Yeah. What else is there? There was Corsair case for $80. Which Corsair case? You said there was what? A 47-inch? This is sold out, right? I'm just surprised how this is even $99 with free shipping. Like for them to deliver a 47-inch, so that's what? Wait, like a 4-foot table that looks like this for $99. To me, that blows my mind. I feel like the shipping alone on that already is like half the cost. But obviously, these retailers and stuff, they get way better rates on shipping than we do. But that table was very gamery, but not too bad. What is this? Cordless tire inflator. You put in stream submissions. Okay. Oh, here are some of the older photos. Dude, this is great. Where's Chris in these photos, though? He must be taking the photo. Man. I thought this was my friend Martin for a second. From, like, the little preview here. That looks like it could have been Martin. But, okay. 3500X. Amazon. Why you take you forever, dog? Amazon, what is going on? Okay. Ooh, $80 for this one. And it's white. Ugh. How come the black one couldn't be that price? I wonder if they're discounting the white one because they're having trouble moving it. Because it's really hard to, get all white parts in a build. Like, if you have a case like this, I feel like you have to have, like, all white parts. I've seen a lot of people, like, do all white parts, but then because the graphics card is kind of, like, really expensive to get white, they just slap a black graphics card in there. And I'm just like, I don't like that look personally. If you're okay with it, then yeah, do that for your own build. But I'm curious if the white ones are moving less just because it is hard. Like, when you decide to build a PC in white, you're taking on like a more difficult task than if you were just to build it in black. And also, it has to go with the rest of your setup. Like, a white build for me would not look good on my desk setup because I have like black monitors, black, peripherals, black. I feel like if you have like a black tabletop, which I feel like is probably the most common table color that exists out there, and let's say you have these lights and stuff. Everything is designed around like dark gray or black. Putting a white desktop, unless you like really plan out your whole setup, to me it kind of looks off. Here, let me show you my desk setup. But like literally, and this wasn't even intentional. It just ends up that everything becomes black. But like, if we look at it, like desk mat is grayish, which works with black. Keyboard, like the base color of it, that's not the keycaps, black. Mouse is black. Monitor bezels are black. These arms are black. It's just everything is black or dark gray. So imagine a white PC sitting right there. I think it would look odd to me. Do a Dalmatian build. It would be interesting. Yeah, so they call it the Stormtrooper build. There is doable. Let me see. Stormtrooper PC. I don't mean an actual Stormtrooper, but like there are ways to do it. Like this is one of the examples. This one actually doesn't look that bad. I would actually say it looks good. But yeah, this one does not have a white graphics card in here. So you kind of have to do it kind of strategically. Let's see, white PC build. Being neutral colors, black and white pretty much goes with everything. Like this one. Oh my, what are you doing? I was trying to middle click and then it brought up the this is a Facebook post. Oh, that's like the same thing. That looks almost like the same thing we just looked at. But yeah, as you can, like something like this. This is a budget white one though. So they did that thing where they painted the AMD stock cooler, black motherboard. I think a build like this, you know how black cases, sometimes they come white exterior, white interior, which is what this one is. This case is literally like all white, every single part of it. But there are some cases that have a black interior, which off the top of my head, I know like kind of like this, right? So this one's white, but the inside of it, they do black. I know NZXT, some of theirs, like these ones, right? Like these ones, I think work pretty well with mixing in black parts because the interior panels are black themselves. Oreo build. It's harder to match. It is harder to match shades of white. Yeah, because there are different shades of white. There's like white. There's like pure white. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. Vacuum sealer. Down from $100. Yo, this would actually be pretty useful. Like if you want your cereal to last longer or your pasta or I don't know. Yo, is that gummy bears? They actually use gummy bears in the example right here. Let's see shop all deals. Oh, we were going to do a price check on RAM. Today is going to be a shorter stream, guys, because I got to make dinner and then help take care of the girls because we don't have help tonight. So we're probably going to cut it off right at 2 hours. All right. $400 for 32 gigs right now. But that's like, okay, is there any kit for 300? I've seen people posting some like, dude. Oh, this is out of stock. No wonder, because it's under 300. Are we really approaching 400 on average? Let me look on Newegg. My goodness. What's for dinner? We're making jar tikka masala sauce with chicken and then Trader Joe's garlic naan. Yeah, so $350 for 6000 CL36 it looks like, which is fine. $340 with this promo code. Yeah, see, so if I trade two 32 gig kits right now, that's about $700 worth of value. I should be able to get it. It's 9070 XT. I don't know, but the only thing is, I don't know if I have any plans to help friends and family with PC builds, which is why I'm kind of still keeping it on hand. I have some memory kits available, but it's not like I have like a ton. It's like I have two 32 gig kits and one 16 gig kit, which could go really fast after the holiday season once people get their money or whatever and they want to build systems. So trading it for a 9070 XT, I don't know if it would be the best play right now. So, we're at $400 for 32 gigs of RAM status right now. The thing is, okay, I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. How much of this do you guys think is panic buying? Remember during the pandemic with the toilet paper? If people didn't panic buy, do you think prices could have stayed normal and everyone could have gotten their fair share of toilet paper? During the pandemic, I remember specifically, it got so we only buy toilet paper from Costco. Though I'm going to go on a side tangent rant here. I kind of hate Costco toilet paper. It's just a value play though. Costco toilet paper, you guys notice that it lets out like a lot of dust? It lets out so much dust. If you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, it does this thing like around the toilet paper, like, and on the floor of the bathroom on the toilet tank. And it lets out like this dust. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like lint, I guess. And I don't know why, but I only started noticing it like when we moved into this house. So I don't know if it's a combination of the moisture in the air or what. But we only buy Costco toilet paper regardless, just because it is the value play, right? Kirkland Signature toilet paper from Costco. Best bang for buck. Especially for something that just you wipe your ass with and you throw it down the toilet. It's not like, you know, it is a disposable item. So I do not want to spend like a premium amount on toilet paper. But during the pandemic was like the first time ever in my life that I had to go and buy toilet paper not at Costco. Like at Walmart, Target, the grocery store, wherever we could, because it got that bad. But anyways, part of me feels like that happened because people were stocking up, like individuals were buying 3, 4, 5, 6 packs of toilet paper when they didn't need it. And they put kind of like a choke point on the supply. And with the RAM, there's a RAM shortage going on, but it's not like there's no RAM, right? There is RAM because obviously it's being sold right now. But this is just supply and demand, I guess, because... But I don't know if the demand is real. Is the demand actually that much that this is what the, like, you know, equalizing point in price is? Or is it because of all the news articles that came out that scared people, then people started stockpiling stuff that they didn't need? And just to be fair, I did not stockpile RAM. I've been sitting on this RAM when it was still super readily available. There was no shortage. The prices were actually the best that it's ever been. And it's only like 3 kits. So it's not like it's crazy. But like once prices started to rise a little bit and people like started panic buying, is that what would have caused it? Because it's not like there's no RAM. It's just... like there's plenty of kits actually. I'm very curious, like how much of this inventory... if we were to buy this, or if people were to buy this, how many of these kits is Newegg sitting on, right? Oh, for sure. People who stole all TP were the same people who bought the RAM. You guys remember? There was articles of people freaking scalping toilet paper. Like, there would be... I remember seeing this. I think even some news outlets covered it. Like, people would relist toilet paper packs from Costco on Facebook Marketplace at like double or triple the price. It really shows how like scummy people are, doesn't it? But for the RAM, I don't know. It would just be very interesting to know like how many of these $400 kits, you know, Amazon and Newegg are sitting on, and are they taking advantage of profiting from the situation? Because we know that if they did list these memory prices based on the prices that they originally got it for, right? They would all sell instantly. They're already selling at higher prices, so why not rake in some profits? Trigger. Isn't that kind of crazy how in like 5, 10, 15 years, we're going to still refer back to COVID, and the kids at that time are going to have no idea what the heck we're talking about? The cool thing, though, is now, like, during COVID, you know, technology was at a point where everything was able to be documented and posted online, pictures and video footage and stuff. So at least they can see. But, like, when people talk about, like, the Great Depression or, and housing crisis of whatever years before the internet was really a thing. Like day to day, people our age have no idea like what that looked like at their grocery stores, panic buying and stuff like that. So it's just a interesting to think about. Probably why your hands are dry because of the Costco toilet paper dust. eBay was selling TP for 25 cents per square. What? I do not remember that, Pete Dunn. I built my first PC in 7 years and paid 95 ship for 32 gigs for T-Create. Yeah. I mean, that was how much they were going for just 3 months ago. If you did dodge a bullet. I'm going to admit, I didn't think the RAM situation would get this bad. I thought it was going to peak out around double the price. We are at beyond triple the price now. Maybe not this kit. This kit's not a good example because RGB RAM was already always so kind of expensive. But these T-Force kits that were normally $100 and these non-RGB kits that were normally $90-ish, we are beyond triple the price now. We're going into 4 times quadruple price territory, which is ridiculous. Heavy Metal Technology, thank you for the $5 super chat. $117 pack dollar ASRock's 165 1440p monitor on Newegg. Okay, let's take a look at this. Stream submissions. Here we go. Is this different ones? These are slightly different models. 11770. Oh, this one is 1080p. 117 1440k2. What is is a VA panel. It does have a curve 1500R. High refresh rate, 550 nits, 1 millisecond response time. Colors aren't the best because it is VA. Good viewing angles though. Specs wise, it seems like a pretty decent deal. What? Oh, and it even comes with a cable managed sleeve thingy. See the before and after? Okay. Let me get a short link for this. How do I get a short link? What the heck, Newegg? Oh, I gotta go to the actual product page first. Oh, can I get a short link on here? Link, not affiliate. How do I just get a short link? Oh, okay. Only affiliate, so I have to be logged in. Let me get it from over here. Oh my god, Newegg, your thing. Yeah, okay. Or you can get the 180 hertz one for 140. This one is IPS. Whoa, wait. IPS. Anything else difference? 1 millisecond response time. I would almost pay the extra $17. Well, I guess it depends on your needs. But if color accuracy is more important to you, IPS is definitely going to have the more vibrant, accurate colors. This one has, I mean, I'm not stressing about 180 versus 165 hertz. To me, that's not that big of a deal. But I guess, yeah, depending on if you specifically need a certain panel type, this one's also not too bad. Crazy RAM costs as much as an OLED monitor nowadays. How many people are on OLED? This is going to be simply, are you on OLED? Simple yes or no. Do you use OLED monitor? I have not jumped into the world of OLED yet. Whoa, I didn't see that one. I would pay 7. Yeah, I think a decent amount of people would pay more for IPS. But, it was ironically about 100 years since the last big pandemic. I heard there was a 100-year... Well, this woman was probably 0 or 1 year old at the time. And surviving both depending on how that pandemic was, how many newborns and babies potentially passed away. That might be a very big feat, actually. Facebook Marketplace, people are trying to get 10 times as much for DDR4? No way, not 10 times. DDR4 32 gigs was going for about 60 to 70 bucks. No way people are listing it for 10 times that. Bum guns and bidets for the win. Yes, bidet for the win. Oh, speaking of bidets, Jesse had a hot water bidet. Oh, that was nice on the bum. There was a part during the LAN where he was teaching us how to use it. Let me see if I can pull that up. That's actually pretty funny. Where is it? If I can find it. Have I heard about the budget OLED AOC Agnon Pro? I have not. How budget is this budget monitor? Ratings gives it an 8.9 out of 10. Okay. I'm seeing it for... Is this the right model? Amazon. How much is it going for? 500? Is this considered budget? I thought 527-inch 1440p OLEDs were about this price. Aren't they around 500? This makes me think it's not particularly lower priced than its competition. Or am I wrong on that one? I found the footage. I saw one at Best Buy for $350. I went for the strong contrast ratio of OLED and was way more impressed by the responsiveness instead. Sorry. Oh, that's the model. Okay, let's see if we can find that one. Okay, there's the OLED one. $450. It's not that much cheaper. I've not heard about that, but like, let's just take a look at OLED 27-inch 1440p. So Asus, which is we know is going to carry a premium for $525. Samsung has this one, 180 hertz. What is this though? This one's 380, but why do I have a feeling this is? What's the resolution, buddy? How do you not list the resolution? Oh, this is 1440p. Okay. Did I miss it on here somewhere? Yeah, I didn't. Why would you not put that front and center? See, when I think budget, I'm thinking closer to like under 400 for sure. But I guess there are a lot of them that are more expensive, like the Odyssey. But that's the Samsung ones. KTC has one for $450. Pixio has one for $475. Yeah, 240 hertz here. Yeah, so I would say like a 450 and above. I would think that's kind of standard pricing with like maybe a slight sale or something. But yeah, like to find OLED monitors for around that price, they seem pretty common. But maybe these are all budget ones. Like, I mean, this one's not that much more. This is a limited time deal down from 700. So I don't know if this is actually a true discount. What's a good GPU to pair with the 7800 XDD and a 1440p for 1440p? The strongest one that you can afford. That includes up to like a 5080. because there are games that could bring the 5080 to its knees at 1440p high refresh rate. But yeah, whatever you can afford, the best one. So almost 40% of the votes so far are people with OLED. That's higher than I thought. I thought it would be closer to like a 25-75 or even 20-80 split. Interesting. Oh, a company sent me this crazy monitor. It's gonna be my first time OLED, but it's also gonna be my first time something else too. Let me show you. It's crazy. This isn't gonna be until the new year because I need to like actually use it and stuff like that. But holy crap, this is a little bit of the nerd off of a budget. But I've always been an ultra wide monitor master race kind of guy. I've been on ultra wide monitors for over a decade now. But geez, my goodness, I have never used one of these before. I gotta put it on my chair. But oh my goodness, this thing is knocking everything down. If I could show it. Is there any of my personal information on here? I need to make sure I don't dox myself and show my address. There is a slight address shown on here, so I will cover this. But one of these monitors, why didn't you get the big one? Nerd on an OLED. Yeah, so this is gonna be my first time using, I didn't even realize these are called super ultra wide. But it says, you see, super ultra wide curved monitor, 49-inch. Yeah, so this gives you as much screen real estate as two separate 27-inch monitors. Because normal ultra wides are closer to only 1.5. But this is essentially two on one panel. But yeah, I think, geez, I need to figure out how to get this like on a mount for my main setup because this thing is gigantic. A normal ultra wide would end somewhere like around like right here on the box. So, but this is gonna be my first time like extensively using OLED like day to day and stuff, as opposed to just only seeing it when you go to like Best Buy or wherever where they have monitors and stuff. Like being able to actually use it, I'm gonna be interested to see if like it's gonna be mind blowing. Like for those of you on OLED, was it mind blowing to you going from whatever you were on before to OLED? Or is it just like, it's nice, but it's not like, game changing? I've heard a lot of people say it's like mind blasting. So my expectations might be set too high for it. Because I feel like people hype up OLED quite a bit. I don't know if it's because it's actually warranted, or is it because they're trying to justify their purchase because OLEDs for the longest time have been really expensive. So if you tell yourself this is amazing, it was worth me spending like $700 on a monitor, then you feel better about it. But we'll see. Use it in portrait mode so I could just scroll all the news articles from top to bottom. It's a curved monitor. I think portrait mode does not work as well with curved monitors. Like, for portrait mode, I would prefer flat. What GPU? Oh, I'm going to need upscaling because right now my system has a 4070 Super in it. Nothing crazy powerful. It's the equivalent of a 5070. So, for my gaming on that, I'm going to have to use upscaling for sure. There's no way super ultra wide... maybe if I can find a 9070 XT, it might handle it slightly better. But still, running two 1440p monitors basically at the same time in a game, that's a lot of pixels. Yes, the switch to OLED's worth it. Okay, I love my Alienware ultrawide OLED. Yeah. I recently joined the OLED gang not too long ago. Got an Alienware one. Yo, what up, Jake Dog? What would I if I wanted if I were to get a modern Nvidia card, which I'm not because I do not need one, and it's kind of I have better things to spend money on right now. What card would I want? I would probably settle with like not settle. A 5070 Ti would probably be the graphics card I would target if I was like trying to build a new system and needed to find a graphics card. Yeah, I'd probably go for the 5070 Ti. I think they're priced really good right now for the performance, and I like the NVIDIA features that come with it. Like using Premiere Pro, it works on AMD as well, and then on Intel Arc, for me specifically, I had a weird problem with. So it's hard for me to say for everybody if Intel graphics cards and Premiere Pro play super nicely. But I had a bad experience with it, which is why I switched. But AMD never gave me problems. It's just with NVIDIA, with some of the stuff that they've implemented now, like with more of the AI workloads, I feel like when I'm doing auto masking and auto blurring and like caption generation, the 4070 Super just flies through it. It does it fast. So I think as much as for gaming, I would like to use like AMD. For the content creation side of it, NVIDIA is worth paying a premium for content creators. I got an OLED TV. It's amazing. My PC is just IPS though. Yeah, I would. Okay, like if you guys had to choose, because funds were limited, right? If you could only get an OLED TV or a monitor for your desk setup, so like a living room TV, which I think is probably way more expensive, right? Because it's like a bigger panel, versus for your setup though, but you only had enough money to pick one. What would you rather have an OLED viewing experience with? Like your living room TV, which is bigger to watch movies and TV shows on, which I know you can do at your desk, but I would say at your desk, assume it's mostly used for gaming, watching YouTube, not necessarily like movies, and then like you doing whatever the heck else you do on your computer, doing homework, etc. But like, what would you rather have OLED on if you could only choose one of the two? I'm trying to wait a couple of years before I go OLED. On a 240 IPS at the moment, yeah. I mean, I think, me personally, I think, modern IPS monitors still look great. It's like one of those things where, see, once I go OLED, I wonder if I won't be able to go back. But before you have truly experienced OLED, you don't know any better, right? You're on like IPS and TN and VA panels and everything. And those look good enough. But like once you open up Pandora's box or whatever, is that when it's like, oh, now I can't go back? TV for sure. That's what I would think as well. Because, so here's how I think of it, right? When I'm on my computer and where it would matter most is probably like with gaming. When I'm gaming, there's like an objective to the game. There are things to do in the game. Unless you're like really pixel peeping, which I'm not really a pixel peeper. Like when I play a game, I'm not just like staring at like everything. Like, okay, sure, you do that when you're playing a new game once. And then you go do the objectives. You actually play, and there's like movement and all that stuff. I feel like your brain is more focused on the active like controls and controlling your character, doing the mechanics of the game and stuff. Whereas on your living room TV, all you're doing is watching. There's no interaction, there's no input, there's no controls. The whole experience is watching the TV. So having a nicer display with better colors and stuff like that and contrast, that I would imagine would be more meaningful than in a like for gaming. And I guess that would be for me I don't really watch, like I watch YouTube and stuff on my computer, but I don't need an OLED for that to watch YouTube videos. I think gaming would be the most, like, it would be used, the OLEDness, because even for video editing, I don't think OLED would be that important. What about QD OLED? Wait. that's like the quantum dot thing, right? Is that more expensive? That's even more expensive than OLED, right? There's so many like monitor technologies that I have to remind myself which ones there are. Okay, give me a here. Let's take it. Let's see. What is the difference? QD OLED is more enhanced and uses quantum dots for brighter, more vibrant, color accurate images, while traditional OLED uses color filters. Okay, excels in color volume and brightness. Yeah, because OLED, one of the things is that it's not the brightest, right? Also, do they both have burn-in problems? Oh wait, what? Quantum dot tends to be less expensive? Interesting. Based on this Google AI overview, which apparently is wrong, it makes it sound like it's more expensive. QD OLEDs are generally positioned as premium, often costing more than standard W OLED, white OLEDs. Huh. QD OLED is less prone to burn-in. And then there's like mini LED too, which is gonna be in a future video soon here. But I've had no issues for like a year and a half. For the burn-in, don't the monitors don't a lot of these more premium monitors, they do like a auto refresh thing. Like they can sense that like, hey, the thing on the screen hasn't moved much. We gotta do something to not make it burn in. Do screensavers stop burn-in from happening if you set like a low screensaver timing? You can always hook your PC up to your TV too. Before I got my IPS monitor, I did that for a month or so, like in your living room. Do you plan on doing any content on budget Linux gaming builds or Bad Site OS? Not really. And I think it's just because... So someone mentioned in the stream recently, like, they didn't like that all the content creators were starting to make that stuff because they are only doing like 1 week or 1 month challenges and not actually using it. Because I think the takeaway a lot of the times from the Linux-based content is that it's not for everybody. It's actually not for the majority of people who just want things to work easily, and without having to like, you know, troubleshoot or like find special solutions to stuff. And compared to like Windows, right? Gaming on Windows, I don't know, man. I feel like the Linux people are very much pushing and saying, oh, it's pretty much every game you can play on it now, and it's like without any workarounds and anti-cheat and stuff like that. But I feel like as much as everyone hates Windows, there's a reason why everybody still uses it, because it's kind of a pain to learn a new OS and to, you know, reformat and do all that kind of stuff. And in terms of compatibility wise, I mean, it's undeniable, right? Like Windows is just the most compatible in terms of like all the titles that exist out there. But in terms of doing OS videos, I feel like the juice isn't worth the squeeze from a content creator's point of view. I think for me doing it personally on my own, I'll probably do it. But to try to make a video on it, and documenting everything about it, it feels like it wouldn't perform that well, and it would be so much like effort to capture every single part of using it. Because when you make those videos, you want to capture anytime something buggy comes up. Sometimes you anytime you run a problem. So you're constantly running screen recorder and recording with your camera. So then you end up with like 30 hours of footage, trying to cut that down into like a 15-minute video that just ends up not performing well. So if I do, you know, try the different distros, I'm going to do it on my own. And then maybe once I get comfortable with that, maybe make like a very high level overview video of it, but not like some of the other ones I've been seeing, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm using Windows because my PC is pretty much just for gaming. I'd like to put it as dual system, but I just got a laptop. I want to put Linux on for the... Yeah, like, I think a lot of people, Linux, for a first time to learn and practice on, is going to be their first experience. But I haven't even messed with Linux yet. And it's mostly a time thing, right? I feel like YouTube and content creation and then now having kids, like, you only have so much time. And then I got the server up and running and that's working. And I've been doing stuff with that. I need to start a Valheim server. But yeah, it's just how much time do you have? How much are used RAM prices? We can actually take a look. Marketplace. Please let me look at stuff without having to log in. Okay, DDR5. In my local area. What are people selling for? Oh, look at this person. Reed, $1. What a clickbaity person. 600 for 64 gigs. And this is RGB. 600. So they're selling it for 300 per 32 gigs, which is cheaper than Amazon. And this is the RGB ones. DDR5, 32 gigs total, 350. What's the cheap? Their cheapest ones they're selling is 6000 CL36. Okay. So I don't know where the hell is Linden. A single stick of RAM. Okay. 450 or universal space, $50. 62 or 16 gigs of this is DDR4 for $50, which actually isn't bad considering they're going for like 90 on for new. $1, 1, 2, 3, 4 free. I hate that BS. Yeah, I hate it too. Even though I've done it for videos before. But to my defense, whenever I've done it, I've actually sold it for $1. Okay. Actually, no. What happens when you want to trade? I've done that when I wanted to trade before. Because there's no option to set an item for trade. So I guess you could set it. But like I really don't want to sell it. So I don't want to list the price that it should be going for. Because I would probably argue that that's probably the best way to do it to not clickbait people. Like let's say I had a graphics card, like a 5070 for trade. I could list it for 500 and put in the title trade. But then for sure people will message me wanting to buy it. So like by listing it for $1, people know something's up. And then they'll click it and then they'll see that it's for trade and not message me trying to buy it. But yeah, I don't know. I've been known to do this from time to time, but most of the time I actually do sell it for $1. Or give it away. Mint is what I plan to try out. Then I plan to swap to Cal. Okay, actually, quick question. Linux distros. Just so I hear a lot about Bazite for gaming. Does Bazite work well also just for normal compute? Also, Linux and Premiere and Adobe products just is a no-go, right? So that's why I would probably never full-time it. But for general compute and gaming, let's just say like 50-50. What would be a good OS? Where I'm saying 50-50 because like I would say gaming is still a pretty significant portion of what it'll be like the system would be used for. But also it's not just gaming because like I don't want to put like Steam OS on it or something where it's like okay, this is just like a Steam menu. Like still, you know, browsing and file managing and word processing or whatever the heck that you also do. What I guess I haven't looked into Bazite and its capabilities, or is it just pretty much if you primarily game and it's not good if you want to do other stuff? Like, I guess like what should be the first Linux distro that I try out just for gaming as well as general compute? Ubuntu. I mean, what are the popular ones? Mint, Ubuntu. I actually let's see what you guys recommend versus the top used Linux distros. Debian, Linux Mint, Fedora, Arch. So I've heard of a number of these. King of desktop Linux, known for ease of use and vast support. With regards to gaming, it shouldn't be too different, right? Compared to Bazite. Wouldn't Bazite just be like a bunch? It's like more stripped down and more focused on gaming. But in terms of like compatibility, it's Linux, right? It's not like different distros are gonna have different compatibility. Mint or Zorin would be good starters. Zorian? Is that even listed here? Arch is for advanced users, okay. Mint, Ubuntu, Arch, and Debian. Debian and Arch are the best. I hate Ubuntu. It's really clunky and slow. Yeah, but it's not, let's see, Debian. For stable foundational base for the stable foundational base for many other distros, including Ubuntu, renowned for reliability. I mean, it would probably be one of these top three, right? Yeah, all are Linux, just different in how they start you off. I think they can be good for both though. Mint is just more visual like Windows. Yeah, see, if honestly, I think for first time users, you got to make it kind of close to the Windows experience if you're going to want to win people over. Because if they're struggling looking for menus and just the way that I think about it is like, am I going to go into this and it's basically like me using my wife's MacBook? I cannot do some basic stuff on like Apple OS. I don't know what version she's on the MacBook that she has, but like when I'm struggling to minimize windows or to find windows that I've minimized and stuff like that, I eventually figure it out. But like, or if I'm trying to go into the menus, or like when I plug in a USB drive and I'm trying to copy folders, you got to think of like, what is the user experience? And I'm sure it's not as bad going from Windows to Linux as it is from like Windows to Mac OS. But like when I'm trying to help my mom with her Apple thing, that she has some Apple product, I don't know what it is, but like she's trying to do basic stuff like transfer music and like install iTunes, and I'm like, what the hell? This is like so different. It takes me a while to figure it out, and sometimes I have to Google it. That's where you start losing people, and they'll just go back to Windows. First time users use Debian with GNOME. Although the distribution of GI being a bit different, it's really intuitive. Yeah, you gotta think about it from like, is it intuitive for a Windows user and what they've been trained for 20 years plus to do, right? I only knew MacBooks before my PC a year ago. Well, I used Windows PCs when I was at school 2 years ago. I think that's what Mac users actually know, how to use Windows, because you're basically forced to do that in school. But like Windows users, whenever they have to swap over to Mac, I feel like, my God, I'm like a fish out of water. I think Mint has a good sales pitch, lots of future support. So you're saying don't try Bazite? The operating system for next generation of gamers. Let me take a look at what it is like to actually use this. I mean, because Bazite still does, like, you can do, browsing and stuff on it, right? I guess what would the limitations of Bazite be versus, like, Mint? Like, can I see just, like, I mean, you got your taskbar at the bottom, you got your windows. What would be the downsides of doing Bazite or using Bazite first, or starting off? I think you should try all of them. Oh my God, no way. We're talking about time here. I do not have the time for that. If I did, I would also try TrueNAS as well. But Linux Batocera is perfect for retro gaming. Linux is more AMD GPU, and I have plenty of GPUs I can use with whichever one I go with. Bazite is like Steam Deck. So like, I guess for the average person, what would they, if they installed this and started using it, what would their first thing be like? Wait, I can't do that? Okay, I'm out. I'm out. I'm going to Mint or something else. Jay's 2 cents has a follow up. I didn't watch Jay's Bazite videos. Maybe I need to, cause I'm who's by this point who's done Bazite videos? Jay, Toasty Bros, David, PewDiePie. Wait, I don't know which one PewDiePie did. I know he did Linux, but I don't know if he did Bazite. I know there's a bunch of PC content creators that have started to do Linux distro stuff, but I guess I feel like, again, their experience is based on like a week or 30 days of using it. I don't know if they'll actually run into the things that the day-to-day user that uses it long-term will eventually run into. So that's why I'm asking you guys in the chat, because I know some of you guys have probably been on these OSs for, you know, like months, if not longer. Thoughts on Steam console? I think it'll be mildly popular. Especially since it's coming out that it's probably going to be closer to like $700 from that's like my updated guesstimate of how much it's going to cost. For $700, like, you could buy a used PC or a build your own for like that would be decently comparable to it. So I don't know if console users are gonna want to spend $700 to potentially hop over to PC gaming on a Steam console. Like, people have been hopping over from console to PC and just going full out PCs without like a intermediary Steam console for a long time. So yeah, I know it'll sell, but I don't think it'll be that popular. And it'll just be like all the other Steam products that have been released. Like, I don't know if the Steam Deck would be considered wildly. Actually, no, that's different. That's a different form factor. You get the portability out of it. I've never heard of Bazite. Can anyone give more info on it? Bazite is like I feel like it's been the buzz in the last like 6 months or so. Everybody was talking about it. Maybe even for longer. Probably first thing people will try is run an esports game, then nope out when they find out they can't use the anti-cheats. What up, Pika Wubs? How you doing? Yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on what games you're playing. And you should definitely look up the compatibility beforehand. PewDiePie moved permanently to Linux, and he found it was really comfortable without all the bloatware. Alright, do I do this on a laptop then? Or do I just do it on like a jump? Oh, is there any hardware things? Like, let's say I wanted to fire up you know, any of these distros on a Xeon 15-year-old budget build. Is there any limitations when it comes to that? I would imagine not. Otherwise, people would make a big stinker about it. It seems that's pretty. It seems like that's a specifically Windows 11 thing, like locking out the OS based on hardware. Yeah, most anti-cheats will explicitly block users on Linux. Doing good besides the hardcore adulting. You have kids yet, Pika Wubs? The day Pika Wubs and Charles from Tech Always has kids. That's when I've known that I'm for sure extra old. Keep in mind, PewDiePie went in deep and writes the heck out of his distro. I mean, when you're a multi-millionaire and you have all the free time in the world. Actually, no, he has a family, but... And he's still making content. That man is a grinder, I swear. How about okay. I'm trying to think for future streams. How about for future streams, we do it together? We install a Linux distro, and I'll screen share and everything for the first time. And we'll set up an OS and just like dick around in it and see if we could install some games and get it going. I think that would be over multiple streams, because I feel like that would take a long time. In 2 hours, I think like it'll take, I don't know how long it'll take to, you know, install the OS itself and set up the account and all of that. But installing programs, you know, that stuff just ends up taking time. But that might be a fun stream to do. Just so people could also see it real time, first-hand experience. If we run into any problems or, you know, limitations, you'll see it and it's not edited out and like hidden and stuff, which you can do for videos. You struggling in Linux sounds like a super fun time to watch. Okay. We'll plan for that in the new year. Yeah, I think that would be really fun. We'll see if we can get to the point where I can stream off of that PC on Linux. Whoa, what is this? What is ARS? Let me see what this is. ARS currency. That is an Argentine peso. Is that correct? Centine, 100 Argentine pesos. Which I have no idea what the conversion rate is, but that doesn't matter. Thank you for the super chat. By the way, what do you think of this PC I'm doing for $1,200? I think it's future proof. Pre-budget. Ryzen 9600X, 96XT. Yep, that's about what you would expect. How are you able to do that for $1,200 though? RAM and, 16 gig. Wait, you didn't put how much RAM is in there. Also, 2 terabyte NVMe's have also gone up in price. For $1,200, I think that's a really good price, given memory and DRAM situation. I think people would be happy to build a 9060 XT 9600X PC for $1,200. I think that's good. Do not check the value. No way it's 7 cents. That's crazy. It is 7 cents. I don't know how super chats work, but you donating, I'm appreciative anyways. Plus, I like the pop-up in the chat. So, to me, the pop-up super chats is not about how much people donate, even though I do very appreciate it when people donate the crazy amounts that they do. But any amount, just to get that pop-up, I'm happy with. Yeah. Well, I don't think I think that's closer to $1,500 with RAM prices nowadays. Not necessarily $2,000. LG smart TVs have Copilot now. Do they? I did not know that. Okay, surprisingly, I have found use cases for Copilot on my PC. But yes, having it on your TV sounds a little bit annoying. You bought 32 gigabytes of DDR5 5600 like a week before it went from 200 to 800. Okay, so you got in before the prices went crazy. Got it. LG forced an update. Yeah, oof. Do not redeem. Okay, it is already 7. I don't know where the time went. But I gotta end in the next few minutes. So, upcoming content. I'm trying to get 2 videos out before the end of the year. One of them is actually going to be on a UPS, which I'm very excited about because it's a new UPS, and we've talked about UPSs on the stream before, but I think UPSs is one of those topics where like every PC user can use it, and I don't think people realize the benefits from it. So hopefully in the video I'm able to convey that. Plus, UPS technology has gotten really good now, that if you invest in one, it should be able to last you like close to 10 years. And yeah, again, with RAM prices being the way they are, I kind of don't want to do build-related content if I can help it. Just because I don't want to listen to people moan and groan about RAM prices and saying how out of touch is this guy using parts he already had on hand, whereas the rest of us has to buy stuff at crazy, ridiculous prices. So I'm trying to do content that is not surrounding spending money on RAM and SSDs. And LAN Party. LAN Party video is not going to be out until at least January, if not February. Remember, don't run rm-rf. That's what, remove something every file asterisk in your terminal. It's kind of crazy how it would let you do that without like a warning. I did a full 30-day Linux challenge, no Windows at all. Only issue was the menus having different names. Okay. If you count the cats as kids, I had to clean up puke at 5 a.m. this morning. That's kind of similar. Cleaning up stuff in the morning, taking them to appointments when they get sick or checkups and stuff. That's like the step up before, like the step before kids. having pets and responsibilities over another living thing. Yeah. Only thing I'm worried about is buying EMP bracelet. You don't need to do that. Scared of breaking a component just by touching it? Just constantly touch your desk. You could shock it. There have been plenty of videos of people intentionally shocking their PCs and it's fine. You don't need the bracelet. Just ground yourself by touching like a big piece of metal and you should be fine. Unless you're rubbing socks on the carpet. Yes, Electroboom, Linus, Jay, they've all made videos where they've intentionally generated static, touched their PC components, and nothing happened. Obviously, you don't do that purposefully, but I think it is really hard to kill your PC parts with ESD. I have never worn a bracelet. That's an EMP psyop. I do not wear socks. Learning Linux would be a good video series. I think it would be, but I don't think... I think there are proper channels for that. You definitely want someone experienced doing it. Not me. I built... Literally, you could build your PC with the parts sitting on the carpet. That was one of my back burner. Like, I throw it on the back burner. Where I would build a PC and I would lay all the PC parts out on the carpet with no mat or anything. And build it, and then try to trigger a bunch of people who say that's a bad idea, because that's how that's how much of a non-issue it is. ESD sounds like something pre-2010s. It also sounds like almost like a erectile disease. What's up, Benzerino? You made it just before the end of the stream. I made Zorin OS look like Mac OS is my daily driver. Okay. If you build your PC next to the fridge and you have any kind of granite, marble countertop, be careful with the tempered glass. That's the only thing I would say. But yeah, building it in your kitchen on like your clean kitchen table, assuming that your kitchen is not on carpet and it's on like hardwood or something else or tile, then you can, you won't worry about building up a charge. It is better when the person's a noob. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're going to install. We're gonna go through the whole process, and it's all gonna be documented on stream. Straight up, going to the website to download, creating the bootable, sticking it into the PC and doing everything. So I need to build a quick budget system with hardware so that we could do this, and we will plan for it. If I forget, remind me. Always keep pestering me. When are we going to start those Linux streams up, okay? Because I do forget a lot of things. You still listen to hardstyle? I don't think I've ever listened to hardstyle. I'm more of a progressive house person. Like my favorite, not even just my favorite EDM artist, but like my favorite music creator, musician of all time. I know some people don't consider EDM DJs and stuff to be musicians, but like Avicii is my favorite I guess music creator of all time, DJ, producer, whatever you want to call it. Favorite music of all time has come from Avicii, right? But I also like a lot of other progressive house and house like music. I'm not a fan of dubstep. Sorry, Pika Wubs. I'm not a fan of like heavy bass and like the wub 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 sounds and stuff like Skrillex and stuff. I don't really like those guys. I like the more chill melodic music. Hardstyle is so good. I remember when Jumpstyle was making its rounds, and like shuffling first came out in like the mid 2000s. I feel like that's when we first started seeing those YouTube videos. But I just like to listen to. I'm not as big of a fan of them. I also like DDR techno music, like all those Naoki songs. I like all that stuff as well. Yeah, I like Audion. I do. Yeah. Okay, before we go, gotta remind the people of the OG jump style videos because people don't know. What were some of the OG ones? I mean, we're talking about like 18 years ago. We're talking about 2007. I don't want to get copyright claimed. So I feel like some people might be too young to know what this is. But over in Europe, the jump style trend was a thing 16 years ago. But this music, I'm not a fan of. Like, I'm not a fan of this music at all. I cannot listen to this. It gives me a headache. But the dance that goes to it, it's pretty... It depends on who's doing it, but it can look funny or it can look cool. Yeah, it's kind of... Well, shuffling has kind of evolved, right? Like, shuffling nowadays, you know, those EDM girls in their super thick-soled shoes and, like, the glowing lights and stuff. Yeah, the shuffle dancing nowadays, I think it looks way cooler and more elegant. But this was, like, the origins. Hey, yo, was that Teletubbies jump style? It was. Are the twins gonna try curry? No. They're only eating, like, non-salty foods right now. Bananas, like avocado, like lentils that we puree. We're giving them only healthy foods right now to try. Most of it they spit out anyways and make a mess, so, yeah. If they eat dino nuggies, we gotta do homemade dino nuggies where we personally blend the chicken and then make the batter ourselves, so we know exactly what's in it with no salt. The girls ain't getting, okay, maybe a little bit of salt, but other seasonings that are more healthy. Melbourne and Malaysian shuffling, yeah, Melbourne shuffle. That brings back some memories. Not that I ever did it, but back when shuffling trend was on the rise initially in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, me and my LAN group, actually, we would watch videos of that. We probably haven't talked about it in like years, but Jan got into shuffling for a bit of time. Hot take, the store-bought Dino Nuggies are super mid. You talking about the store-bought ones, even including Costco? They are pretty mid, but for us, they're nostalgia, and they're a cheap filler food while we wait for pizza or any other meal to be cooked. Plus, if you eat Dino Nuggies with Japanese curry, it is elevated. But, alright guys, I gotta get going, gotta take care of the kids, gotta make some food. Yeah, I'm trying to get a video out this weekend, so look out for that. I'm in the Discord server, look out for short form content, all that kind of good stuff. Next week, holy crap, next Wednesday is Christmas Eve. I think we should be able to stream. We should be able to stream next week, so I will see you all then. Unless you guys have holiday plans and you don't come. But if you're just chilling out, Christmas Eve, we'll have some kind of Christmas Eve stream. Probably not going to be too themed, but we can do whatever then. But you guys, take it easy. Thanks for a chill stream, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.